Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, depending on what part of the world you're in. Before we sort of get into this hangout, I'm going to make sure it's going to catch up here on YouTube, which I can see it's doing that. So that's great. We're broadcasting. If you could let me know that you could see me and hear me okay, that would be much appreciated. We've got a lot to cover today, and there's some exciting stuff that we're going to sort of start telling you about. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to kick off fairly quickly with Darren, because Darren's actually got an appointment to go to, so he might be shooting off towards the end of this hangout. So the purpose of this hangout is a couple of things really. One is to talk to you. I've called it day trading. What does day trading mean? Well, somebody else might have a different terminology for it, but I like to think that day trading is I start some point in the day, and time I've finished at the end of the day, I've made some money, so that's what I class as day trading. Some people like to long-term trade, which is they'll buy an asset, a commodity, a stock today, and maybe in the future they think, the price is going to go up. Could be a week down the line, could be 6 months down the line, could be 6 years down the line, could be when they get to retirement. They say, I'm going to sell that stock, that share, that cryptocurrency and make a bit of money. That's also trading. And I'm sure that you've gone to the supermarket recently, or you may have gone to the local shop, the shoe shop, and bought some shoes. You hand over a piece of money, a piece of fiat currency, or you give them your credit card. They give you back, the shopkeeper either gives you back a pair of shoes that fit you, hopefully, or they'll give you some groceries. Again, that's trading. You're trading your fiat currency with a physical product. So probably most of you are trading on a regular basis, okay? But what would you do if you could buy Coca-Cola, say, down at the supermarket, and the corner shop guy, you bought it down there at, say, 50 cents a can down at the supermarket, and you went down to the corner shop and he said, well, I'll give you 70 cents a can. I'm sure you'd be backwards and forwards all day picking up some fresh Coca-Cola from the supermarket that you're paying 50 cents for, running it down to the corner shop, dropping it off there, picking up your 70 cents a can there, and back you go again to fill your car up or your wheelbarrow. That to me is what I class as day trading, where you're buying something and you're making money, or you're trading your I don't know, gambling, betting, whatever you want to call it, but you start to trade, and at the end of the day, you make some money. And that's what we want to talk to you about today, about making money from trading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop rambling, and I'm going to hand you over to Darren. And before Darren comes on, if you've got any questions about today's hangout, if you could put them in capital letters in the chat, okay, in the live chat there as we're broadcasting. Put them in capital letters and we'll try and get them. But we're not going to answer any other questions unless it's to do with today's hangout. So listen very carefully. So over to you, Darren.
Okay, I've just unmuted myself. Hopefully you can hear me. Brilliant. Okay, right, guys. Hi, I've had a lovely 2 weeks holiday. So I'm back with a bang. Did a little bit of trading during the week. Just sort of get back into the swing of it, and I posted a little video. I think it's on Facebook and certainly on my YouTube channel. So if you are looking at probably understanding a little bit more about what Jeremy and I are doing, then obviously go and have a look at that video. And if you're looking at building a team either now or in the future, it might help you demonstrate what it is that we're going to be doing with you guys, like I say, over the weeks and months ahead. Right, now today is, I've got a lot to go through, as is always the way, but what I'm going to do is show you how to build your own strategy. It's really important. I know Jeremy's, I've been through some of the hangouts that Jeremy's gone through while I've been away, and he's stressing to everybody, don't risk your own money. We're talking about doing everything in a demo mode and test. And I thought it might be useful if we showed you what it was or what it is that we do when we're coming up with new strategies and looking at different ways of building out a profitable strategy. So I've just very quickly, I'm going to share my screen, and I've going to go through to my pocket option account, and you can see I've got it open up here, and I just want to quickly demonstrate a couple of things, and then I've got a mini presentation to really underline and labour the point of what we're talking about. Now, Jeremy's already explained to you about Bollinger Bands. Now, I'm not going to show you any other technique tonight because I don't want to confuse you too much, but I am literally going to show you everything we do just using these simple Bollinger Band setups. Now, I'm going to just take a risk on a punt here. You see the price here on this candle has just dropped, so I'm just going to take a guess, and I'm just going to place a bet that I think it's going to go up. Now, what I'm going to show you is a very simple strategy. You can see here that I've placed a bet thinking that in the assumption that the price is going to rise. Now, luckily, the price has fallen. I say luckily because actually I want this bet to fail, because what I want to show you is the next thing to do. So what happens when your bet goes against you? And obviously, true to form, unfortunately, it's now winning. All right, so basically what would happen is that if our bet was to lose, I've got 15 seconds to go yet, so it might yet fall for me, you then place a second bet, and the second bet is for exactly the same amount. And why is that? Well, basically because if you don't place another bet, oh, you see I've won that, that's a shame. Okay, basically what will happen is that if I was to place a second bet, you can see the difference that I'm making here. By placing a second bet that then wins, I'm then covering the losses that I lost in losing that first bet. So I was hoping rather to actually demonstrate that to you, and obviously it's not worked. Never worked with animals, children, and internet, I suppose, is the solution, the answer to that. Okay, so the other thing that I want you to look at is you can shrink these green by just rolling my mouse. You can shrink the time zones down. So I've got these set at 1 minute candles, and as you can see, as I roll my mouse in and out, it gets bigger and bigger, and you can see here that the times are changing at the bottom. And this is important because what I did earlier today was an exercise in mapping out 24 hours of a particular trading pair. Now, I'm on Vcash at the moment, so this is Vcash against something else. I'm assuming the dollar. And basically, what I've done is I've done screenshots of each of these over a 24-hour period. And I'm going to show you what I then did with it. But it's just important to understand that that is how I've done it in a physical way. Right, so we'll come out of that and we will go to my presentation. And I will hopefully... Here we go. Right, so what are we talking about tonight? Creating and testing your own strategies. Now, again, I'm not going to change anything that Jeremy's already showed you. We're not going to confuse anything. So we're going with a simple Bollinger Band. The Bollinger Band that I've set up is exactly the same as one that Jeremy showed you last week, which I think was a 15-day period and 1.75 deviation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then clearly go back through the hangout that was last week where Jeremy went through binary option trading. Now, one of the key things you need to do is whatever your strategy is, even if it's just a whimsical strategy, write it down, because what you then need to do is basically follow that strategy to the letter, because you don't want to deviate from it. Or if you do deviate from it, make sure you write down whatever the deviation is and then follow that new strategy. You basically want to make sure that you are copying everything down and sticking to it, because there's no good sort of making it up on the fly, because sometimes you're going to get lucky wins, sometimes you're going to get very unlucky losses, and you need to make sure that you're quantifying that or putting it into some sort of context. So make sure your strategy is written down and then stick to it throughout your testing. Also test it with different pairs. You saw me doing Vcash just now. I've been testing different strategies with currency pairs, and even within the currency pairs, so it might be the US dollar against the Canadian dollar, it might be the Japanese yen against the Canadian dollar. So test it, because each trading pair has its own, I suppose you call it personality, for want of a better phrase. So make sure that your strategy may not work with a particular pair. try it with another pair. Paper test. Okay, I'm going to show you what I mean by paper testing tonight. Then once you've got a test that you think is working, you then go into demo test. You go to the demo mode, as I've just shown you with mine. Okay, always go into the demo mode. Then once you're confident, then you start to test it with your own funds. Okay, your own emotions will then come into play. Paper testing is easy, demo testing is easy, but as soon as you start playing with your own funds, it then becomes really difficult and your emotions really start to kick in. And that is why you need to be going back to rule number one, which is having a strategy and sticking to it regardless of what your results are. Okay, you need to see it through and always start small. You know, Jeremy and I are recommending you start with the least that you can lose, which is $1. Okay, start with $1 and you can build it up really, really quickly. And I know Jeremy's got some very interesting information he's going to share with you later on in this hangout. And then always be open to improvements and tweaking. So if you've got a good strategy, then do look at different ways of improving it and tweaking. And I'm going to show you a simple tweak as a demonstration with the strategy that we're going to be testing today. So in order to test a strategy, you need some trading assumptions. So this is what we're going to be working with today. We're going to assume a balance of $200. We're going to assume that we're only going to risk at any time 5% of that balance. In other words, we're only going to place a bet of $10, okay, or on each event. That means that we're going to lose a maximum of $10 on each bet and event. Now you can do these as whatever you want, okay? It's because we're just paper trading. This is not real money. This isn't demo money. This is just simply putting numbers down on a sheet of paper, but it's to try and get some sort of context to the results that you're getting. We're only going to trade a maximum of 2 events during this particular testing phase. So this strategy that I'm using. So we're only going to do 2 events, which means we're only going to risk a maximum of $20, so which is 2 $10 bets. Okay, so if the first bet finishes and it fails or doesn't win, then obviously we can then place another bet for the same amount immediately after, and hopefully we'll then recoup our losses on the loss of the first bet. However, if we don't, we will lose a total of $20. Okay, so hopefully that's quite clear. If not, then I'll go through it again as we go through the test. We will assume that if we do win a bet, okay, we will get an 80% return. Now in pocket option, you can get as high as 98% return, but I want to take the worst case scenario. All right, so we're going to go with an 80% return, which means that our second bet system here means that we will potentially lose more money in this paper trading than we might do in reality. But again, I just want to make sure we're not over egging the results. Okay, we're getting a good basis of those results. So therefore, if we're winning, we're going to be winning $8 for every £10 winning bet. Okay, so hopefully that's clear to everybody. And therefore we will lose $2 if we win the second bet. Why do I say that? Well, remember the first bet we lose. Okay, so we lost, we're going to lose that $10. We then place an immediately second bet of $10, which means we're going to recoup our $8. Remember the 80% on that second bet. But remember, we've not made that in profit because we originally lost $10. All right, so obviously $10 less $8 that we've just won means that we come out of that second event, even though we've won it, but we've still lost $2. But that is better than losing $10, which we would have done if we had just walked away from it. And hopefully, again, if you're a bit confused, I'll explain all of that in a moment. Right, so the trading pattern, I was looking at burst. Okay, you can see here burst, and I was looking at, in this screenshot, is between 8 AM yesterday morning, which is what day is it? It's Thursday morning, until 3 PM in the afternoon. So that's what this screenshot is showing. And you can see here I've written all sorts of different numbers on here. Now you may not be able to see this clearly, so I'm going to just quickly walk you through it. You can see here this is the start period and this was the end period that I've measured. And I've got a figure 1 here, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, and so on. What does that mean? Well, it basically is the number of events that it had to take before I would have won a trade. So you can see here that I placed a trade. Okay, so there's a red candle that came down. Okay, I placed a trade during the process of that red candle dropping, and there is a rise, which meant that I actually won the bet on that particular event. You can see here I've won an event here, and then here it took 4 events before there was a winning candle, if you like, or a winning movement. Here there were 3 events, which basically means there was a signal candle. You can see this red candle here. I then placed a $10 bet in paper terms, not physically terms, but in paper terms I placed a paper terms I paid a $10 bet, which lost. I would have then placed another $10 bet, which would have lost, and at that point I would have struck out. Okay, I wouldn't have placed any more bets. But again, just so I know from paper trading processes, it took the 3rd candle was then the winning candle. So you can see here I've written it took 3 events. So that's what those numbers signify here. So just to save you, obviously adding all those up, you can see here that winning or won events, there were 21 winnings. So I won basically 21 times $8 in that case. There were 6 second events, okay, and again using this same system, that would have been 6 times that I only lost $2, okay, and there were 5 either 3 or more events, which meant that I would have lost 5 times $20. Remember, that is where I would have bet on the first event, which lost. I would have bet on a second event, which lost, and obviously I wouldn't have placed any more bets on either the 3rd or the 4th events. So I would have just lost the $20. All right. So hopefully that's quite clear. Then you can see I've done exactly the same thing here between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. yesterday. And exactly the same thing was 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. Again, you can see here the events obviously totted up. And then you can see here 5 a.m. till 9 a.m. this morning. And again, I've totted all those up there. So what does that all work out at? Well, you can see here that first screenshot, the time period. We've got 21 winning events at $8 each time would have won me $168, which sounds impressive. Second events would have only lost me $2. So that would have been 6 times 2, which means that I've lost $12. And then obviously 5 events at $20 would have lost me $100. Obviously add all that up. That means that I've made a profit of $56. Winning percentage, I've got 21 winning trades, okay, out of a total of 32, which is simply adding the 21, the 6 and the 5. Okay, so as a percentage, that would have been a 65% winning strike rate, if you like. And the ROI is $56 against the $200 that we started in our balance, which would have given me a 28% ROI. So if I'd sat at my computer trading my strategy between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m., which is effectively if I was working a job, that's basically job hours, I would have made myself a 28% ROI on that $200, okay, which isn't bad at all. However, look what happened in the second segment part of the day. Right, between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. we only had 15 winners, which made us $120, but we then had 6 second events and 6 more than 3 events, okay, which effectively wiped out any of the profit that we'd made here, which resulted in us losing $12. Okay, winning percentage was still 55%, but the ROI was minus 12 against the 200, which would have resulted in a minus 6% ROI. Not a disaster. Trust me, I've had a lot worse than that. But again, that's exactly the same strategy, the same pair, but obviously you can see that there's 2 different results. Now, if I hadn't traded this first morning bit and just simply walked into this this section here, this sort of afternoon and evening section, I would assume that this strategy was rubbish, okay? But actually, by trading it on paper, trading it over the two sections here, you can see that it's not a bad strategy overall. All right. Then look at the third one. So this is between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. This is sort of the UK time, if you like, or the time that's on the actual Pocket platform. But obviously, this is trading 24 hours. So while it's night time for us, it's daytime and morning time and evening time at the other side of the world. So it's still trading. But again, you can see here, although I made $112, I effectively lost that 112 through the second and third events of this particular system. So although I broke even, okay, and results were 56%, okay, as a strike rate, you can see that my ROI during that section was 0%. So then fast forward to this morning, if you like, so 5 a.m. till 9 a.m., just a short bit of time. But you can see here, 14 wins, 4 second events, and only 1 significantly three events plus. That makes a big difference. You can see here I've made a profit of $84. I've got a strike rate of 73%, and although you can't quite see it here, it's a plus 42% ROI just on that section. So a really good morning section. And oddly enough, in all of my testing, I tend to find this middle period here is the most challenging period for trading. Okay, I do have some really good wins during this section, but I do find that the very early mornings are better for the pairs that I particularly trade. I'm not going to tell you what they are. You need to discover those yourself, because the way that I trade is slightly different than the way that you may trade. But I do find that my trading patterns work a lot better in the morning. Okay, so let's put all that together and see what we've got. So the 24-hour results, you can see, cutting to the chase, that we turned $200 into $328. So we made $128, which is a 64% ROI. And that's despite having a really poor section of the day, part of the day that we broke even on. We still had 2 really profitable parts of the day. So depending on when you look at your trading and actually do your trading, because clearly nobody can sit at the computer for 24 hours a day, you can actually see that you're going to make money with a decent strategy over a period of time. But what happens if we tweak it? So we've got a decent strategy. I could quite happily make 64% ROI, day in, day out. It's not going to take you long for you to build that $200 into a decent sum. And certainly, $128, you do that over 30 days, you're making over $3,000–4,000 ROI. So it's not bad as it stands. But again, as I said at the beginning, we need to look at improving and tweaking. So what if, instead of duplicating our second bet or event amount, so where we talked about placing the first bet at $10 and then the second bet at $10, what if we doubled our second bet? All right, so in this instance, our first bet would still be $10, but if we lost that bet, our immediate second bet would now be $20. It's important to understand, though, okay, that instead of risking $20 in 2 losing bets, you're now risking $30. Okay, being a $10 and a $20 bet. So just bear that in mind. But now, instead of losing $2 for every winning second event, we could actually be winning a positive of $6. Okay, why is that? Well, remember, the first bet is losing us $10. Okay, but because we're betting $20 second bet, we're still going to, if we win that, we're going to get 80% return, which is $16 less. Our loss of the $10 from our original bet means that you're going to be $6 up on that particular trade. So let's have a look at the numbers again. So this was the original test. So if we then put in these figures, you can see the difference. So we're still going to make the same amount in that first event, but in the second event, instead of losing $44, we're actually going to make $132, which all sounds brilliant. But in the original test, we were losing $20 on those 17 events. However, now we're going to lose $30. Remember, it's a 10 and a 20. So now we're going to lose, instead of 340, we're now going to lose 510. So adding all of that up, you can see that we're going to make $134 profit, which is an improvement on that. Our win rate, our strike rate has gone up from 64 to 86. That's because oops, do apologise. I do apologise. I'll go back down to the bottom here. There we go. So our win rate has gone up to 86% because we're now including the 22 winning second trades. Okay. But importantly, our ROI has also sneaked up as well. So from 64%, we're now doing 67%. And our $200 has now grown to $334. Now that's just with doubling that second event. What you could do to do other ways of enhancing and tweaking your strategy is, instead of doubling it, perhaps you could triple it, perhaps you could add 2.5 times, perhaps you could add 10 times. So just play with the numbers, but bear in mind that each time you increase that second bet, you're also increasing the amount that you're risking. And the other thing to bear in mind is that you don't necessarily have to hold it at the second event. You could have the 3 events, 4 events, and so on. But again, you just need to sit down with pens and paper and go through the numbers and paper trade your strategy. Once you've got your strategy in place and you've paper traded it and you think it's a good one and you've written it down, you can then go to what I said right at the beginning, which is then going to the demo test phase. Okay, so you've got your paper test phase, which could take, it could take weeks to get your trading set up. You then got your demo testing, and then once you're happy with your demo testing, you can then move on to testing with small amounts of numbers, small amounts of dollars. So like $1 and $2, until you're really comfortable with the pairs that you're trading, the time of day and the time of week that you're trading. Okay, so I shall leave it at that. I shall stop sharing, and I'll pass you back over to Jeremy.
Absolutely fantastic. I hope that hasn't lost anybody.
It will have done, I'm sure.
Because I was going to have a swig of water before I started, but I'll have a swig of water. Now, what Darren's just showed you is just one little strategy. Okay, I use a slightly different one, which I'm not going to tell you about tonight. I'll tell you about it in another hangout. But as Darren quite rightly says, there's a couple of points that I just want to press home, which Darren obviously covered there. First and most important, trade demo. Trade demo. Do not risk real money until you're comfortable, because believe me, if you think you're comfortable and you're starting to mess around with your strategies, you're not putting, because let me just show you this, because what Darren was talking about there, you've got these Bollinger Bands. You had a one at the top and one at the bottom, and I've covered this. And you have these candles that sit inside like this. Sometimes they pop out, sometimes they go down the bottom, but basically these candles sit inside and out. What we're talking about with the reason why you're having these Bollinger Bands is you only want to be betting on candles that are above the Bollinger Band or below the Bollinger Band. Obviously, if the candle goes up above, you want to say that the price is going to go down. If the candle pops out the bottom, you want to say the price is going to go up. You don't want to be betting on these candles in between the Bollinger Bands, which I've seen people screenshots. Believe me, you're playing Russian roulette, because you're just guessing. There's no strategy. If you're going to just bet on any candle, then do away with the Bollinger Bands. There's no point you having them. Okay, they're there for a reason. And it's not something that me and Darren have invented. Bollinger Bands, I think, is 1880, somewhere around there, that they, a particular guy, I forget who it was, that bought them and come up with the mathematical equation that sits behind those Bollinger Bands. And there's a whole science behind it. I don't want to know what the science is, like I do when I get in an aeroplane. I don't want to know how it flies. I just want to know it gets me there. So somebody's given me Bollinger Bands. I use them as a strategy. Darren uses them, but we use different strategies with those Bollinger Bands. And Darren's just showed you a couple of little strategies that you could use in your trading. Now, the thing is, what Darren also said there is that, be prepared to lose, okay? Because whenever you're trading, doesn't matter whether you're, saying the price is going to go up or the price is going down. That's more of betting. You know, binary options is betting. You're betting that the price is either going to go up in the next minute and a half, or the price is going to go down in the next minute and a half. Okay, so obviously with a betting, you can't tell the future. You can lose. The same is with trading. If you're buying a physical stock, you buy the stock. If you wanted to buy, I don't know, AT&T shares, if you're in America, or if you're here in the UK and you wanted to buy BT, British Telecom shares, you know, if they go down in value, you're going to lose your money. If they go up in value, you're going to gain some money, and that's what trading is about. So only be prepared what you can afford to lose. You know, you should never think of spending the money that you need for, you know, for food, to pay your rent, your mortgage, your utility bills, or your day-to-day living. It's money that you say, well, I can afford it, and if I threw it in the street now and set light to it, or I give it away to a homeless person, it's not going to affect my life in any shape or form. Darren, if I could ask you to take over, because I've got somebody quickly knocked at the door. Sorry.
No problem at all. Okay, right. Someone's just asked the question here. It's Jürgen, and I was just in the process of trying to get an answer to you. Right, Jürgen's asking on the Hangout, can you please explain again with an example what would be the first bet and what the second one? I presume what the second bet might be. I think the easiest thing for me to try and do would be to get out my board, but so let me just quickly do. In fact, are you back now?
Yeah, sorry about
yeah, that's all right.
Just,
can you?
My wife ordered the boot. She's not in, and they're knocking on the door for me to take it. So what we
I was just about to answer Jürgen's question, but since you're there with your whiteboard, if you could. He's asking about what would be the first and the second bet. And really, Jürgen, it depends on your strategy. But if we just want to talk about what I've done today, I was talking about making the first bet, in this instance, was $10, and the second bet was $10. And then obviously the tweak was a $10 followed by a $20. But I think what you might want to do, Jeremy, if you could, is just on your whiteboard, just explain and break down what the difference is between those two, as in the recovery.
Yeah, so
the profit that you would make on the second one.
80%. I know that's a very conservative figure. So if you were placing $10, okay, and you had a win, you're going to make, you know, $10. You're going to make 80% of that. You're going to get your $10 back, plus you're going to get 80%. So is the 80% is what is $18? Is it you're going to get back something?
You'll get $8. You'll win $8 back. Yeah.
You'll get your $10 that you initially did, plus you're going to get $8. So you're going to get $18 in total. Because when you place the bet, if you've got $100 sitting up here, and you say, right, I'm going to bet $10, well, that's going to go down to $90. And if you win, you're going to get over here your $10 back. So that could put that back up to 100. Plus you're going to get $8, which is the 80%. Okay, so that would now be $108 that you would get. Now, if you'd have lost that, then obviously, if I get rid of that, if you started with $100 in your kitty, so you had $100, you bet 10, okay, and you lost that, then obviously that's gone down to 90. Okay, that's gone down to $90. Darren's saying the second bet, put another $10, and if you win that, of course you could lose it. Of course, if you win that, you're going to get this. That would obviously take that down to 80 because you've just taken 10 out of that 90. If you win that, you're going to get $10 that the bet you placed, plus you're going to get another $8. So now that's going to go up to $98. So if you can see, you started with 100, where in fact you've only lost $2 because you counteracted it, or I think that's the word. You counteracted with an $8. Now, obviously, if you'd have made that bet any more than $10, then you could have come back into profit. Okay, but that's the 10 and 10 strategy. So that could be 1, Could be $1 you're going to do, $1 on the $1 on the first bet, $1 on the second bet, $2 or $2, $3 and $3. You can put any amount that you want. I recommend, I mean, $10 is a scary amount because I've done that, especially with real money. But if you're playing with, it's not the amount, it's the strategy. Because the amount doesn't matter, it's the strategy. You've got to get into the habit of getting a strategy and sticking to it. You know, if you're going to get a strategy and then change it every 30 seconds or every day you come on, you're going to lose money hand over fist. This is why you've got to do that demo until you feel really confident. And I can tell you, the minute you put real cash in, it all changes again because your human emotions come into play. So that's a strategy that Darren's just sort of covered you there. Is there anything more I need to expand on there, Darren, or is that?
No, that's fine. Just making money on autopilot is just to basically say, yes, your comment is spot on. So as soon as that first bet fails, then be ready to then place your second bet immediately, unless something that is totally outside of your strategy is happening. You know, huge price movements, huge gappings. You know, there's, you know, every time, you know, every now and again, there's something that is unusual, and therefore you would just simply walk away, make a cup of tea, and then come back to it. But basically, yes, as soon as you've lost your first bet, immediately place the second bet. This is on my strategy, okay? Because as you've just seen, my strategy strike rate can be anywhere between sort of 70 and 80% strike rate, okay? Your strategy may be a bit worse than that. And if that's the case, then as Jeremy says, it's about making sure that your strategy is right first before you then go into what we're talking about now, which is the money management part of your trading. Okay.
And also you want to make sure that you know, you don't run out of money, because if you run out of money, there's no way you can recover. So if at some point you're going to trade with real money, okay, and I can show you an account in a moment that I started with $5, okay, which I'll show you, and I only started that recently, you know, yesterday evening. Okay, I started with $9, and you can take $5. So you can do, even though the minimum deposit is more than $5. But what I did was I got contacts with the owner, and I said, look, can you just take off $5 off me, because I want to I just want to show people what can be done with $5. Okay, so I'll share that with you in a moment. But what also Darren did there, and again, it's a great strategy to have, is he paper trailed. Okay, so basically he's looking at what the past is. Obviously, he can't tell the future. He looks at the past and goes, oh, I see. If I was trading in that times, I would have done that. I would have done this. I would have done that. And he comes out with a figure at the end of it to get an idea of how that day's trading went. Now, ideally, what he should be doing is paper trailing as many of the currencies as possible to see which one is best for him. Okay, you know, which is best to make a profit. So I want to share my screen, and I will say that if Darren, I might go over the hour here, so I do apologise, but Darren might just have to leave. You know, that's you know, so he might just have to leave. So let me know, Darren, you can see the screen. I know it's sort of duplicated.
I can, yeah. And to be honest, I'm getting too excited to leave.
Right, so what I want to show you first off is this account that I've got here. Okay, $5. I've got it to $15.89. I haven't traded for the 24 hours that Darren was just talking about there. I've traded a few hours yesterday evening. I've dipped in and out today and did a bit more trading on there. But you could take an account from $5, and I was trading $1 and $2. I was doing $1 on my first bet, and then on my second bet I was doing $2. And if I lost that $2, I dropped back down to the $1. Okay, so all I did was change this to $1, and as soon as I would place my bet, I'm going to take a chance there. I'm going to place that bet down. I would line up my second bet ready to say I'm going to go in with the second bet. But as you could see, the reason why I took that bet, I wouldn't normally take it that close, but I don't know whether you can see there on the screen that the candle actually just popped above the Bollinger Band. Okay, and look at that, it's gone down the bottom, and I could be really cheeky and take a bet down there. But what I should have done was take a bet at $1. I should have done $1 down there, because, you know, it's got to finish in between one of them. So at least there, I would have come back with what, because this is, here we got what, 97%. So I would get $1.97 back. So I would only lose like 3 cents, wouldn't I? Because one of them would lose, you know, one of them, if one, well, if not, they could both win. But if one was to lose, it stands to reason the other one can't lose, because, you know, it's at two ends of the Bollinger Band. So you see that bottom one for $2? It's very, very close. We've got 3 seconds left on that, and I've won both of them. Okay, so I placed $3 to get $5.91. And why did I do that? I placed $1 at the top here, okay, because it popped out of the Bollinger Band, and I placed another bet at the bottom because it dropped out the bottom of the Bollinger Band. But really, I should have done $1, $1, and then that way, if one of them's going to win, you know. So, but because I did $2, which is, you know, a good strategy. Again, the strategy. So a $5 account's gone up to $18 and 80 cents. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I'm just going to close this. I'm not going to do any more of that little bit of live trading there. But there you get to see that what we're doing is we do that placing the bet when the candle pops out the top, and say that the price goes down. And if the candle drops out the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, I placed a bet to say that the price is going to go up. And because they popped out the top and the bottom at the, more or less within the same time that I was able to place my bet, I placed 2 bets and I was lucky and got 2 wins. So how fantastic is that? So what I want to do is I want to now show you something that we're working on, okay? And I'm going to take you to, first off, to here, okay? Now, this is a screen. You won't have it yet, but this is all the pairs that you could pair up with that have got a profit, okay? That have got a profit in the last 3 days. Now, you know, like Darren did that paper trailing. Well, this is the paper trailing, okay? This is the paper trailing, but instead of you having to do it on all the cryptocurrencies in there, and if I do open that back up, let me just open that back up. And if I do go back to pocket options, sorry, I'm going to just do this and sign in again. All right. If I do go back in there and I go to when it loads, let me just give it a sec. If I go here and load and look at all these currencies. This is fiat currencies. These are cryptocurrencies, and these are commodities, and these are stocks. So Darren would have to paper trail all of those to see which ones would give him a profit over. Darren just did it for 24 hours. Okay, we are doing it inside Zukul. We're doing it for 3 days. Okay, for the last 3 days, we're only showing you the assets that have got profit in the last 3 days. Okay, now as you can see, if I go from left to right here, we've got this pair here, which is the Great British Pound against the the Australian dollar, saying that you would need a balance, a budget of $800 could bring you back a profit. Well, on the paper trail, it brought back a profit of 3,100. Mind blowing. Okay, this one is saying that if you had a budget of $421 based on the paper trail for that day, like Darren's just done, it'd bring you back 1,079. This one's saying if you had a budget on this particular day, which was yesterday, if you had a budget of $481 sitting in your account, the system's paper trailed it like Darren's just done. It showed you these are the wins, these are the losses, these are the wins, these are the losses. That would bring you back $1,200. Now, you might be looking at the screen saying, well, I've over 3 days, I've got to have 800 plus 400, which is 1,200, plus I've got another. I haven't got that much money. So what we've done is we put a filter in here, and I'm going to put $1 in. Let's just say you had a budget of $1. Let's see if there's any, if you could have made a profit with $1. And so I click that. It says, sorry, there's nothing that matches your criteria. So I'm going to click no. So I'm going to click the OK. Then I'm going to go $2. Click this. It says still doesn't match mine. So still $2. I've got to have more than $2 in my account. Now let's have a look at 3. And it's brought me back 2 assets that it's saying that if I had a budget of $3, well, as you can see here, it says $1.04, $2.72 and $1. So if I had $1 on my account, it's saying on that day from the paper trail, you would have made $7. Okay, obviously you can't trade in the past, and we can't tell what the future is. And there's no way on this planet that a robot or any trader is going to know how to trade and get 100% success rate. There's going to be some losses. Okay, definitely going to be some losses. But what you're looking at is over a period of say a week, 7 days, you want to try and get yourself in profit. And this is what this tool is to help you to do. Is it sort of does all that paper trailing. Now you can't see here, but basically there's some formulas. So let me just show you. So there's an algorithm that sits in the background. Okay, and we've got the programmers. We're not going to tell you what our algorithms are. We've got an algorithm 10, algorithm 20, algorithm 30, algorithm 40, all the way up to 100. Okay, now watch what happens if I change the algorithm. Let's say I put it onto 60. It's saying now with that strategy, I would get $11.96. And here it was saying I'd only get $3.48. And you're saying, well, Jeremy, I thought this was going to show me a profit for all of the days and show me a profit. Well, there's 3 days there. So if I come over here and I change this to 10, okay, I got a profit. And if I change this to 30, I got a profit. If I change here to 40, I got a profit. But you see, my budget starts to go up because I've got $3 here. And if I go here, change it to 50, I've got a profit. But now I'm outside my budget. I haven't got $4 because I told the system I only had $3, you see. And then if I go and change this here, these are formulas. Darren just showed you where you repeated your bet. So if you placed $1, and you lost, the second bet would be $1. If you placed your first bet at $10, then your second bet would be $10. So we have some other formulas here. So if you've got this formula is if you place the first bet's $1, the second bet needs to be $2. If that loses, the third bet needs to be $4. If that loses, the fourth bet needs to be $8. Well, clearly, if you've only got $3, there's no way you could do this strategy. You can only do this one at the top here. So what you've got to do is you could choose it, and you see it would give you what it believes you can earn inside your budget. Now I've gone to 100% there, algorithm 100, and it's gone outside of my budget because I said $3. Well, look, this is telling me I need $6.80. This is telling me I need $4.36. So if I had more budget, and let's just say I had $10, I put 10 in there and I press the filter again. Now the filter brings me back, showing me assets that, as you can see, this top one has got a win here, but it's minus and a minus, okay? So there's no way I'm going to use that one because it's too unstable, okay? I'm not going to use that one. This one looks pretty stable, $29. Look at this one. They're saying paper trailed based on your $10 budget, you could come back with 127, okay? Again, it's not guaranteed. This is just to give you some guidelines, and you can play with these figures. You can change these numbers and see what happens. You can change this if you want, but obviously when you start to change this, it starts to change your budget because there's different formulas in the background, okay? So what you do, and let's just say that you was, I'm going to go with, let's just say this one here. Look, I've got this one here, and it's saying to me there's 66 potential that I could have. So let me just see if I now increase that to get it above the 66. Still, I've got a budget there of $22 over here. See, it says over here, but it's a minus. So I don't want minus. I want all greens, don't I? So if I go back to 40%, now you see the algorithm 40. If I go back to 40, it's giving me a profit on all of them. If I change this to 50, I get a minus over there. If I change this to 60, I get a plus over there. You see, so you can play with these figures, but each time you play with these formulas, the algorithm and the actual formula itself, it's going to change your budget, okay? It's going to change your budget. So if you've got $200 or $100, let's say you've got 100, you filter again, it's going to bring you back some completely different stuff. It's showing you, look, it's showing you this one, even though it's got a loss, but it's showing you there is one day when it done okay in the paper trail that Darren did, but there was 2 days where it lost money. So for me, I wouldn't choose that because it's too unstable, even though it can't predict the future. But I want to try and pick something that's fairly stable, you know, like this one in the middle. And if I come down a little bit further, as you can see, some of these are not that good. And you see this one here, unstable, the burst. But let me see if I can get this $20, this minus $20 in a positive. The profit might go down, but I'm going to change the algorithm first. I'm going to say, let me choose a 50 algorithm. That one's gone into profit, but that one's gone into minus. So let's try a 60 algorithm. Still no good. Let's try a 70. Still no good. That one's gone into profit, but that one's gone into loss. Okay. Now it's signed again. 2 losses and a thing. So I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? I'm going the wrong way. I've got 2. And let's just do the 90 algorithm. No good. So I was at, let's try the 40. 40 is no good. Let's drop down to, oh, am I on the wrong one? Let's drop down to 30. There you go. 30 looks okay. I'm happy with 30. I need a budget of about $70 because you can see there the highest trading for that day is $66. So what I could do is I could choose this asset. I'm not going to choose it because I've already got a little bots running and I'm going to show you those in a minute. But you click on select and now you're going to give this a name. So I would call it bot, in my case, bot 5. Sorry, bot 5. I'm going to leave everything the same and I'm going to say my first bet is $1. I'm going to trade with 100. So my budget is 100. Now what would happen is if you lost 100, you might have 1,000 sitting in your pocket options. You might have 1,000 in there, but it's only going to trade with 100. If it loses that 100, the bot will stop. Okay, the bot will stop. But if you look here, the formula says 1, 8, 64, 512. So how can I trade that formula if I've only got $100? Because it's saying the first bet needs to be 1. The second bet needs to be 8. The third bet needs to be 64. And the fourth bet needs to be 512. Well, clearly I can't do that if I've only got 100. But the bot's confident, based on what it's learned over the last 3 days, that you won't need to spend that 512. Okay? In the beginning, it might, as it goes through the day, might take your profit up to $800, and then it has to go and spend, you know, 500 of that to place a bet. But that's how your bot works. Your bot will work for 24 hours. Okay, your bot will work for 24 hours, and then it will stop. You have the chance to duplicate the bot, run it again, or you'll come back to the bot calculator, back to here. You'll run the formulas, because what you've got to appreciate is that a currency might do well today, but not tomorrow. Okay, and as you can clearly see, like here, this one here, look, $1.20 in profit from $6, $11 here, and it lost 11. Okay, so it's a minus 11. So it lost more than 11 because it lost your 11.96. So it's minus 11. If you get me, because it never just lost the 96, because you'd be still in credit of 11, you see. And then this one, it started with 7 and it lost you minus, so you started with a balance of $7 and you had a minus balance at the end of it of $1.20. So it's lost you what, $8.25, say. So it's not going to win all the time. It's not going to win all the time. So you want to choose a stable you know, paper trail from the last 3 days, and this will change automatically. As tomorrow, this will change. I think it's 1 o'clock in the morning UK time. That this then changes to the 31st, because we're in the 31st now, but the day is not finished. Okay, so if you've got any questions of what you've seen so far, pop them into the Hangout remarks there. Okay, pop them into there. So now let's go and have a look at some bots I've been running. So here we are, we've got a live bot, and I don't want to show you the live bot, I want to show you this bot, okay? Now look at this, and I'm going to zoom in on this, and I might need your help, Darren, with a calculator in a moment. But let's just see. Okay. So look, I did 3 bots, okay? So I had a loss, a winning bot, and a losing bot. So if I take the losing bot, I've got a $2.14, okay? And I've also got a $77 and 50 cents. So they're both losing. But then I've got a win, a bot that won, and there I got $195.30. So if I take the 195, then take away the $2.14, and then take away the $77.50 that I lost, I think that comes up to 115 and 60. Is that right, Darren?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in actual fact, what my bot did was, even though I've got two bots that lost for me, but overall I'm in profit of $115, and they're all on. They're run on the 24-hour period. Okay, this bot was really didn't have any. I traded with $1 here. Okay, traded with $1. The chart was no good. The commodity ended up this particular thing that I was trading here closed, and I couldn't carry on with the trading. So I could have lost more there, or I could have gained. I don't know. This one here traded with $10. Okay, had a budget of 200. Obviously, I didn't spend the 200, so I had 200 on that one, and so that ended up with 395. Is that right? Yeah, 395.13 cents. That account ended up with. And this one, I started with a budget of 600, and out of that 600, I was doing bets of 10. At the end of the day, I ended up with 532.50, I believe it is. 500. So I lost $77. But I'm happy enough, because out of the 3 bots that I run, one of the bots give me profit. Okay, so your bots are not miracle workers, but I don't know about you, that's pretty darn good. That's an algorithm.
For context, if you add your 6, 2, and 100 budgets up together, you've still made just shy of a 13% return just in that short testing period.
In one day.
Yeah.
And then, so I've got a bot here now. The bot that I've got active at the moment, okay, is not been running all the time, because the programmers have been switching off the server and doing some work on the server. But here I've got a budget of 200. I'm saying I'm prepared to lose 200. The bot's going to run out at 22:45, which is UK time, okay, because it's picking up on my time zone. It's placing the first bet at $8, and it's doing this, the first bet at $8, and then 5 times the bet that's lost. So 5 8s, okay. It's doing on the second bet, and then it would do 25 times the 5. So you can see, I mean, I don't know what their numbers are. I haven't got a calculator here. Maybe Darren can tell me. So if I placed a bet of $1, the first bet would be $1. The second bet would obviously be $5, because that's 5 times. And then the third bet needs to be 5 times, not 5 times, 25 times of 5. So that's 125. Is that right?
Yeah. So it'd be $1, $5, $25, and then $125. Would be your fourth and final bet. Yeah. 25
times above the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 525, so it's 125, isn't it?
No, it would be, your first bet would be 1, your second bet would be 5, your third bet would be 25, and then your fourth bet would be 125.
Okay. All right. So you could see that if I had a budget of 200, I could almost lose all of that budget just by doing this formula. But the robot is not there to make mistakes. It's not there to let its emotion come in. And when I say mistakes, it can't guarantee that you're going to win. But if I can bet $8 and come out with so far $52, I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy, because you do the maths. If I come back here and I show you this bot here, I traded my first bet with $10. Okay, traded my bet with $10. So that gave me $10. I'm just gonna stop sharing the screen, if I may. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen, and hopefully you can see me. So yeah, I placed. It was doing bets of $10, and that gave me a profit of 195 of 30. Okay, dollars. So $10 giving me a profit at the end of the day, which had a balance. I had a starting balance of 200. Now, say I had my first bets was $100 a bet. You do the maths, that would have been 1,950 and 30, wouldn't it? If I was doing $1,000 bets, you do the maths. That's 19,530 that you would have made. Okay, so it's no rocket science to see that once you get a winning formula that's making you that, obviously you're not going to jump straight up to that. And obviously we can't guarantee that it's going to do that again tomorrow, because obviously the currency might change. But, you know, I think I'm going to say, well, I traded with 10. I think I'm going to have a go now with maybe a little bit more. Instead of doing 10, I might drop that up to 12. You know, don't get greedy. And if that done all right, I might drop that up to, say, 14. Just drop it up by $2 each time. Creep up, creep up. Because what you don't want to do is make big jumps like that. You know, have a $10 today, and it's, oh, it done me really well yesterday. If I put 100 in to a first bet, I'm going to win loads of money by the end of the day. Well, that might be the one day that that particular currency don't make any money. So it's better to come up by small amounts, so that if you do have a bad day on a particular pair, then you're not going to eat away at all your profit that you made the previous day, you know? So that's what you want to be doing with your bots when you get access to them. Now, you're probably looking at the screen saying to me, oh, how am I going to get access to these bots? Well, I can tell you this, that what we're going to do when we launch the bots, we're not ready. We're going to do another week of testing, okay? We're going to do another week of testing. And I can tell you what we're going to do is I'm just going to sort of show you how this is going to pan out for the people that want to get involved. Now, if I said to you, I could sell you a bot, okay, or give you access to a bot. So I'm taking there, I don't know, I'm gonna, there was what? There was $195. Again, I'm not guaranteeing that these figures are real, okay, that you're gonna get that. So it was $195 that got in a 24-hour period, okay? So if you was to times that by 7, Darren, if you're good at the calculator, are you still there? Or have you disappeared now?
I'm here.
Yeah. So 195 times 7, what does that equal to?
That's 1,365.
$1,365. Okay. Now, I'm not guaranteeing this. I'm not guaranteeing it, because if you know, you could be really conservative and say let's cut that by a third or 25% of that amount. You know, so that could be that you know, what's that? 25% of that, Darren? 10%.
Even if you take out your 2 losses on that, it's still 115 times 7. So you're still looking at, you know, $1,200, aren't you?
Yeah, you still. So there you go. It's a good thinking there, Batman. So you know, you took out the losses. You still was 115 for the day. That's 1,200 a week. 1,200 a week. What's that worth to you? What would that be worth? Put that in the chat there to tell me what value would you put on that bot if you had access to a bot that's you're gonna have a fund of $200 sitting in your exchange, and at the end of the week you're gonna end up with $1,200. You know, $1,400 because you get your 200, but you got your 200 there as well. You'd end up with $1,400. What would that be worth to people? What would that be worth? So while you're thinking about how much this bot is worth, let me know what you think it is. It's worth everything for freedom. Yeah. Well, you know, I want a monetary number, Teresa. You know, give me a monetary number. What you would be saying, well, if I had access to that, I would be happy to pay that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Zukul, and I'm going to tell you how people inside Zukul are going to get access. And we're also going to have it on a standalone site. We're going to sell it separately. I'm going to put here sell on a standalone site. That's, I don't know, we might call it the binary bot, the BB. Okay, the binary bot. We're going to sell it over here. Okay, we're going to sell it on here, and it's going to be payable in BTC. There's no fiat currency involved. We're going to sell it on there, and we're also going to put it inside Zukul. The people that are in Zukul, depending, you know, see, nobody wants to risk a number there. This is, I know what I would be doing. a percentage of the profit. Okay, so if I was to say to you a percentage of the profit, Dave, then how would you trade if there's so you're asking me to give you access to a free, so there's no risk to you whatsoever, and then afterwards you give me a percentage of what you make? Really? Think about what you just said to me there. So we're going to sell it separately, but in here we're going to give discounts. Okay, I don't know what it is. We're going to give discounts depending what package you're on and what you're like as how active you are on these hangouts. Do you give us a thumbs up? You know, there's 87 people watching now, 88 people watching, 67 thumbs up. So there's people watching this that are not prepared to take action. Okay, I'm going to be watching what people do on Facebook. I'm watching if they're promoting this business, obviously promoting their own link, not promoting their directly. Promoting this business, I'm going to be choosing people. Okay, not everybody's going to get access to this, because I can tell you this: when this goes live and people start to get the results that I've been getting and the results that we've been getting in testing, every man and his dog is going to fall over backwards. They're going to do everything they possibly can to get their hands on this bot, because there's not a bot like it. I tell you, there's not a bot like it. And if you can show me a bot that does what I just showed you on the screen, I want to know about it, because I tell you there ain't. So I can tell you now, if you was invited to be a founder, okay, and we're still gonna, I've got some more invitations going out. There's some founders that are already, okay, that have become founders, okay, and those founders will 100% get access to it. Okay, they will get access to it. Then we've got some leaders. Okay, we've got some leaders that are bringing people into this business. They're going to get access to it. 100%, they're going to get access to it. Okay, I should be writing to these founders and talking to these founders and these leaders and tell them how they're going to get access to it. But they're the first people that are going to get access to it. Then there's the rest of the people. Well, it's not going to be everybody. It's not going to be all. Definitely not going to be everybody's going to get it. It's going to be the people that are proactive. People that are out making posts, people that are out making comments, people that are giving the thumbs up, people that are making comments on these videos. I'm in business, and Darren's in business, and everybody else that's working on the internet is in business to make money. I want to explode this business. Okay, I want to explode it. I need the help of the members. So this tool, this bot, is not going to be available for everyone. If people are not going to bother to make any posts and not going to be proactive and not willing to help themselves, no way on the planet am I going to help them. They've got to help themselves first. They've got to start showing that they can actually promote this business, bring people into this business, because let's face it, most of the people that are watching this hangout today, and probably the ones, most of them that are watching the hangout after it's recorded, they're looking for one thing and one thing only, okay? And you could be this category could break down into micro categories, okay? They could be looking for this, because I know that a lot of people are looking for what I'm about to write on this board, and that is work from home. That's what people want to do. They want to work from home. They want to make the dollars. They want to make the pounds. They want to make the yens. They want to make the rubles. But the key to it is they want to work from home. They want to spend more time with their family. They realise that there's another form of life than being a slave to a system and getting up in the morning and getting a job. People that are searching for binary option trading, day trading, all that type of stuff, are people that want to make money, working from home. If you want to make money working from home, you've got to do a bit of work yourself. You've got to start promoting this business, and I will choose the people that are actually helping themselves, okay? Myself and Darren will start to scroll the internet, and we'll be making notes of people that are actually being proactive. And Darren's putting some amazing comments in there. I just want to tell you this. We're not guaranteeing anything. We're not guaranteeing one single thing. A robot is a robot. What a robot does is, Darren showed you a 24-hour period of time of paper trading. There's no way on the planet Darren could sit with matchsticks holding up his eyelids trading 24 hours a day. A robot takes over that for you. You, like Darren showed you paper trailing, and those who want to know how to do paper trailing, you know, I'm sure Darren will tell you how it's done, but you've got to go into each asset and you've got to screenshot it. You've got to look at the candles. When did they go up? When did they go down? Would I have made money there? Would I have made money there? Would I have placed a bet there? Would I have placed a bet there? And you would look and you'd paper trail every asset. And this robot's going to paper trail all the assets for you. It's going to come back with the best performing assets over the last 3 days. It's going to bring you back into that calculator. You can then tweak what the robot's brought back, choose your asset, set your bot up, press go, sit back and relax. And again, there's no guarantees that the bot's going to win every day. But as you said, I had 3 bots running. You know, I could do a dollar bot, another dollar bot. So I could choose a currency pair that I like. So I'll do a dollar. I'll choose another currency pair that I like. So I'll have a budget of $1. Do another currency pair, I'll have a budget of $1. You know, that first bet is $1. Keep my budget low. I could have 20 bots running. They can't all lose. You know, I mean, there is a chance they could all lose, but, you know, it's very unlikely, isn't it? This is it. This is what it is. Now, if you want to get access to this, look, 73 people watching, 88 people watching this hangout, 73 people have given us a thumbs up. So there's what? A few people that are watching this that are sitting there saying, oh, I'm not going to do what he says and give a thumbs up. They're the people that talk themselves out of earning this, making money working from home, giving you the time freedom. They're the people that don't do it. I'm not going to promote this business. I'm not an internet market. I don't want to do it. Few posts on Facebook, few posts on Twitter, few posts out on your LinkedIn account, maybe an Instagram post, maybe a postcard stuck in a window somewhere. If you want to get access to this bot, I'm only going to be choosing people that seriously want to do this. Work from home. It doesn't say sit at home and do nothing. It doesn't say sit at home, retire and shut my eyes and sleep all day or get drunk and do nothing. It says work from home. The work from home business means you have to do a bit of work yourself. I'm going to be choosing people that are proactive. The founders are going to get access to it. The founders, you know who you are. I'm going to be sending out more invitations for founders. The leaders that we have in place already know who they are. They will get access to it. You have to ask yourself, do you want to get access to it? Are you prepared to do a little bit of work to get access? I think we've gone 10 minutes, 15 minutes over time. I do apologise. Is there anything that you want to... I don't know whether Darren's still there, actually, because I know he had to shoot off. He's still there.
I'm still here.
He's still there. He's sitting in darkness now. The wife probably screaming.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you need to cover before we close out?
No, I think all I would say is obviously been going through the comments and what you haven't mentioned and people need to realise, and again, this is probably through a modesty on your part, is the fact that there is, I mean, we may think we're being glib when we say there is nothing out there. There is no other bot that is connected to a platform directly out there. Okay, yes, you will find software, yes, you will find bots out there, but they are simply looking at a market, okay, and then giving you a signal. All right, they send a signal either by phone or through computer, email, whatever it might be. As we've already demonstrated live, is that when those signals come, that's when you need to press the flipping button. Okay, not, oh, I've got a signal, let me have a look, what does that mean? Oh, right, okay, well, let me log in. Okay, right, now I need to press that button. Okay, the moment has gone, and that is why people historically have lost money on binary options who don't follow a particular strategy. Okay, we're trying to show you how to follow a strategy, how to create your own strategy, and how to trade in a way that's going to be safe for you financially. Okay, but either way, you cannot take away those emotions. what this bot has done and what Jeremy has been able to do, he's been able to build a relationship with the company. He's been able to have our programmers working with their programmers, literally hand in glove in connecting everything up, and even actually improving the way that this platform is performing. Just through the past week or so, there's been various interchanges of information and details of how to improve the whole thing. So there's a real synergy working at the moment, and this will not just be with this platform. There are obviously plans to have other platforms as well out there. So there is nothing out there. Okay, you will not find any other bot that is connected in this way. Okay, which means that you literally just need to set your parameters and then leave it for 24 hours and let the bot do its work. And then you'll come back to bots which have made profits, and obviously some bots that will not have made profits. We're trying to be as transparent as we can. But this is the first 24 hours, and it's not even been a complete 24 hours because we've had to be switching things off and switching things back on again. This is the first test run, if you like, and just look at those results. And there's people out there who are asking for this to be given to them on a plate, okay, and that is just not going to happen. There is a huge amount of money, time, and effort has gone into building this bot, above and beyond, anything that I know, and these guys sat on the hangout. As much as we appreciate it, you need to get real. There are going to be some people are going to be very pleased because they've got access to this bot. There are some people who are just going to expect it to be delivered to them in the starter package or something ridiculous like that. It's not going to be like that. Okay, you need to understand that. And what Jeremy's trying to tell you is that we need active people. Okay, we need active people with Zukul, and those are the people who are going to be the priority people who are going to get that bot. Okay, that's my piece. Okay, I'll shut up now. And I'm saying that no, I won't shut up. I'm saying this because Jeremy's too much of a nice guy to say it. But you guys just need to understand, if financially you haven't got money, then go out and do what Jeremy's suggesting you do. Go out and promote your business. Go out and promote Zukul. Go and get going. All right. You have an opportunity here to have something that is going to make you potentially, okay, I need to add that in there, but obviously all of that, I spend hours every single day retesting strategies. I've got files and files of loads of paper trading before I do any testing. Okay, this just on its own, just that 3-day window that it gives you is just going to save me loads and loads of time. I can go straight in on the strategy and start trading, making profit. Okay, so just that on its own is worth its weight. Okay, but you're going to not only have that, you're going to have to choose your strategy, set your budget. Who the hell is going to tell you that I've turned $1 into $7? Okay, and that's what Jeremy's just shown you. $1 has gone into $18. All right, nobody can show you that sort of ROI. All right, nobody, and they will show you doing that live. Okay, so this is a fantastic opportunity. You will not see the like again. All right, and you need to grab it. If you're financially challenged, okay, go out there and put effort, blood, sweat, and tears into your business, and that will be rewarded. Okay, that is effectively what Jeremy is outlining to you. All right, I'm done. Sorry.
Absolutely, you're spot on. And I didn't even get time. To show you the other bot that we're working on. And we'll do that on another hangout, because apart from that bot that you're going to get access to if you want it, we've got another bot which I know there's nothing like it on the market. We've been putting this other bot together for quite some time. We haven't even started the programming on it. We're just writing the specification, but I'm going to explain to you how this bot's going to work, and it's going to blow your socks off. I believe it's going to blow this binary bot out the water, because if you think that's good, what you just seen, wait until you see what we've been working on and what we've been putting together, and you're going to love it. You want to get access to these bots, then we're going to choose people that are proactive. We're not going to give it to everybody. It doesn't matter how much money you've got in your pocket. You think you can come here and say, I'm going to come in here, give you loads of money, and I want access to the bot. It doesn't work like that. The founders have been chosen from people that I see are proactive people, sent them an invitation to be a founder. They've took it. We've got leaders that have seen what's going on with what we're doing inside Zukul, and they're coming on board. And I obviously want to show them that I've got trust in them and give them access to it. You need to show that you can build a business, that you can work from home, and you'll get access to this bot as well. With that, we've gone way over time. We were trying to stick to an hour. Darren was trying to get in his car and shoot off. So we'll see you on the next hangout. We'll let you know when that's going to be. Not 100% sure that will be, but we'll definitely be doing 1 or 2 hangouts next week. So keep an eye on your inbox and keep an eye on your social media feeds. We'll let you know. Have a fantastic weekend and happy trading. Tutty bye.